Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday with Pastor Dan. I think this will be our last one of the hymn series. We'll find something different for the fall. So we thought we'd end with, I can't speak for Bethany, but one of my favorite hymns for sure. It was at my ordination installation. It's played a lot. We use it a lot. Be Thou My Vision. And the history on this is pretty light, pretty skimpy, but that doesn't negate the importance of it. There's some scholars, and we'll play around with that a little bit, that they think it goes with St. Patrick, but and we'll talk about that. But we're not 100% sure on that. But this hymn, rediscovered somewhat and translated into English and done a little more work by these two wonderful women in Ireland, Irish scholar Mary Byrne and now I can't find her name, Eleanor Hull, both scholars in literary societies and poets, professors and teachers, and they brought this hymn and they found it and it came back to life, and it has become very much a staple in many of our in many of our services and work in the church. We use it when we send people out. We use it when we ordain people, when we install people, when we talk about being in active service to the church. This is often one that is used, and it comes clear from the 8th century. The tune is to an Irish folk melody. I believe it's called Slane, which actually is a little more important, and actually does have a direct link to St. Patrick, and we'll again get to that. But this is just one of those that when we think about going out in service, this is those hymns that just pops up, to have God as our vision, to as a presence, as the one that moves us forward. So a little bit with the mythos that goes along with this hymn is that, there's only one evangelist, one missionary that has a holiday named after him, that has his own color, St. Patrick, born in 373, in the banks of Scotland. His father, a deacon, his grandfather, a priest. When he was 16, some Irish raiders descended upon his village, burned it to the ground, and stole him away into slavery and captivity. He was that's where he gave his life to Jesus, was while in slavery in Ireland. And he said, "The Lord opened my mind to an awareness of my unbelief," he later wrote, "in order that I might remember my transgressions and turn with all my heart to the Lord my God." He eventually escaped, returned home. His family, overjoyed to see him, begged him never to leave again. One night he has this vision. He has this dream reminiscent of the Apostle Paul. He sees an Irishman pleading for him to come back to Ireland. Not an easy decision, but Patrick returns at about age 30 to his former captors with one single book, and that's it, the Latin Bible in his hand, and he began to evangelize and share, and multitudes came to listen to him. The Druids, superstitious as they were, wanted him dead, but there was something so powerful in his preaching and in his works and his goodness, that he is said to have planted like 200 churches and 100,000 converts. His work has endured, the snakes and all that good stuff. Centuries later, the Irish church, still producing hymns and prayers and sermons and songs of worship. In the 8th century, that's when this hymn comes about. An unknown poet wrote this prayer in light of who Patrick was, and with pieces of his writings, and then that's when, in 1905, when Mary Elizabeth Byrne and Eleanor Hull translate and craft them into sermons to the tune of Slane. Slane is the interesting part of this, because the tune comes from Slane. It was on Slane Hill in the county of Meath, Around 433, St. Patrick lit candles on Easter Eve, defying the decree of High King Laeger of Tara. No one could light a fire before the king, signaled the beginning of the pagan spring festival by lighting a fire on Tara Hill. King Laeger was so impressed by Patrick's devotion, despite his defiance, he was permitted to continue his work as Ireland's first Christian missionary. And then that this tune was often played as a folk melody in those times. And so they took that folk melody, so it's a Slane or on Slane Hill, and they put it to the poem coming from who St. Patrick was and his work to serve, to love. So the deep attachment to, maybe, as the more I've learned about this, the deep attachment to some of my own heritage roots and things like that's pretty fun. So I want you all to think next time Sunday when we sing this, or even other times, how God's calling you in light of who God is and who we can be. Blessings. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a great day.